Cancel. Okay, welcome back. Last video we did the welding and the chopping of the back end, and this video is just to show you the progress that I've made. Only a couple of things, nothing massive, before we move on to the doing the seat. So as you can see, I've removed the dials from here. It's a really easy job. 2 bolts that hold the dials onto here. Unscrew those, remove all the lights and bits and pieces. These cut wires are for the illuminations that go into the back of the dials. I couldn't get them out. This is the dials. So they obviously come in the frame here. That all unbolts. But all the lights and dials and that all sort of like fit in behind there. And this is one stripped because I wanted to see how I got rid of the illumination lights, which are these. I couldn't for the life of me get them out, but you have to carefully peel back this edge to pull that up. In the end I couldn't be arsed, so I just broke one up and cut the wires, because probably only going to use one of them on the new lights on the new dials. So this is obviously the top of the triple tree or triple camp. So got to decide what I'm going to do with these. I think I'm going to grind these down, smooth it all up, polish it all up, mount new dials onto there. I was looking at the Moto Gadget ones, but probably going to go for the gear driven mechanical tachometer and speedometer, because they'll just literally bolt onto those. I won't have to change anything. All these wires then can be fed into the relevant places on the dials via the Moto Gadget stuff. So I've made the hollow area on the bike, the middle triangle. That's all the wiring, which will all have to be fitted under the seat. That's really easy. That just was fitted onto the battery box, which is here. This sat on there. So that was a simple case of unbolting the 4 bolts, unbolting the wires that were onto it and dropping it down. Once that was done, nice and easily remove it, clean all that area up, and I'm going to build the battery box underneath. Oh sorry, not the battery box, the pan for the electronics. All that will go in there. Got an idea where to put the battery. So the battery is going to go down into this whole area here and just hang down. Nice little small lithium battery. And just been tidying up the back end. So obviously had it welded. Not a very good welder myself, so used a bit of filler to fill and clean it all up a little bit. Rear light is, I'm happy now. I got my centre line here. Just need to trim a little bit off here for the centre of the light to move over. Problem with this light is, when I got the hoop, this was a lot smaller, the distance, so you could feed it in, but it sat like all the way back in, so you like that. So I just didn't like it, and that will let water in, and that'll just be a nightmare. So I decided to open it up a little bit, trim it back, find the centre line, and then just make it big enough so that I can fill it in the back, take the tape off, press this in. It's just tight enough. So push it in, you need to just do it there, and that way it sits in there perfectly, right on flush against the edge. Can fill all the holes in, cables can come out of there into the battery box, and job done. Filler in after welding, just used body filler, sanded it down as you can see, and that was it. So now I'm going to go on to making the seat. I've got two options really, fiberglass seat base or metal seat base. I kept the original seat clamp, so key in there, that goes on the bottom of the seat, that goes in. So I have to come up with an idea of using that as best I can, but how I've seen it all done is obviously create the fiberglass. It's easy, just strips of fiberglass, shape it how you want it, cut it down, and then the metal one is cardboard, shape it, cut the metal out, put it on, work it around. So I'm sort of like thinking that I want to capture that line, so I want to bring the seat pan to here, capture the line up the back of the seat relatively high and get the dome effect. So yeah, I can work out then if I need to put another strut brace in across here to weld it. Yeah, oh, if I got to do that, I'll have to end up taking all this bloody filler off again, but it's work in progress, isn't it? So I'll get oh yeah, and I cut all the bits and pieces off the frame that I didn't need. Used a flapper disc for that. That was really easy. And when I stripped the bike completely, send the frame off, you won't even notice that they were there. So yeah, it's looking really good. Really liking it. I like the look of it. Looks wicked. Yeah, just don't know how I'm going to get rid of those. Have you got any ideas? Put a comment on the video. The flapper disc works so well, but they're quite chunky. Okay, let me cut some cardboard up and I'll show you how it's going.